tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Kaufmann. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello and welcome to the Heroes Reborn after show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. This is season 1, episode 4, The Greater Good. This was exciting. This was an exciting episode. So
I just want to do yoga to this
let's
song.
just get right into it. I am your host, as always, Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. I'm sure it's written right below my name, but it's spelled Kaufmann.
Hey guys, just restarting real quick. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Kaufmann. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello everyone, and welcome to Heroes Reborn, Season 1, Episode 4, the after show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. The episode title is The Needs of Many. I am your host, Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That's Kaufmann. And I'm not alone. We have a full panel on the right day for the first time in 4 episodes.
No, we've had a full panel before.
But both the combination of both.
We were all together in spirit.
We are, in fact, all together in spirit.
Feel that music.
Feel it. Starting to my left.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV.
And then to her left.
Greetings. I am Khaliel Abooboo. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Khaliel Abooboo.
All right, I'm Jonathan. Find me at Kaibacat. It's probably written down here. Kaibacat.
I love how the music completely cuts out for you.
I know, I hated that. I felt like I took it all away. I'm sorry. No, it was good. It was a commitment. You gotta have the commitment.
That was awesome, though.
Thank you.
That whole intro was fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We have 6 topics. So let's jump on in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Where in Illinois are they again?
Carbondale.
Carbondale. Let's start in Carbondale, Illinois, where we left last week. Tommy the Transporter Tommy the
transporter.
Tommy the transporter.
I want that superpower.
That's a basic flub, guys. Tommy the transporter. His car got T-boned. It's a very serious situation.
Yes.
That it is.
With his mother in it.
Oh. Wait, I'm sorry. Tommy the transporter was T-boned?
That's what I heard.
Okay,
That's what I
let's
heard.
keep going.
This is a whole other show.
It's not what's happening.
Not a first porn reference tonight either.
Yeah, I know we do have another one coming.
I'm sure. At this point. The car gets T-boned. He transports his mom to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And then just walks to the hospital later.
I can't hear T-Bone without thinking.
I really can't help that.
Yeah.
Well.
All right.
So.
And we find out his mother's type O negative blood.
Very rare.
Very rare. Very rare.
Very rare blood, and it actually plays in to the overarching themes of evolution that this show has, that type O negative blood is probably tied very closely to people with powers and evos, as we call them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is why it's incredibly rare, like even rarer than it is in our world. Yeah. It's very rare. Very, very rare in this setting there. Mm-hmm. I pulled a rhyme.
Yeah, it's good.
I just question why Tommy would even think to, I mean, granted, I know he wants to save his mom and whatnot, but he has to remember the risk that giving his blood, there is a genetic DNA different markup that he probably has from his mother. And I feel like in a situation like this, he wasn't really thinking all the way, and donating his blood or even giving his blood, just to get analyzed was not smart.
I understand, and I feel like I'm the only one who kind of was apart from you guys on this, but I would have been that guy to take the blood, take it, I don't care. Do it. I
You're
gotta
in
save
emotional
mom.
duress at that point. I mean, making
am.
any sort of decision under emotional duress, you're going to make a bad decision. You're not supposed to make decisions at that point. And he did. And then he was like, oh, wait, I could just poof and go get blood.
Yeah, but they got into a car crash because someone attacked them. And then he's like, here, I'll give you more of me so you can keep tracking me.
Yeah.
It's just another federal way to keep track him.
I think I'm starting to realize why his mom was so overprotective.
Because he's stupid?
Well, no, I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm saying that he is a good enough mother that she keeps him very pure and trusting of the world, because she's the one that kind of builds that wall. So in his mind, he's like, well, of course, my blood, sure, save my mother. Not even thinking, because that's usually his mom's job of, no, don't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Don't leave that. Don't go to that party. Don't transport ever. Don't touch people. Don't touch things.
Don't touch things. That's what my mom told me all the time.
Well, because in
I don't have a superpower.
In the first 2 episodes, it was kind of implied that he could transport everything he touched because he didn't have any control over this power.
Yeah.
It took him a while to even realize that he could transport when he was thinking about stuff. Mm-hmm. But that was the big conflict he faced, was saving his mother, and he made a poor choice in that duress, as people do.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a certain level of maturity that you learn to not make decisions under that duress.
Yeah, this is the episode where this is the episode where almost every storyline, everyone's making really bad decisions. All the heroes in this show just are idiots in this episode. They just all make bad decisions, and I want to say it now because I'm going to say it 10 more times in the midst of our panel. Whoever directed this episode should be fired. I'm sorry, this was horrible. This episode in terms of direction was terrible. Not an actor's director. Everyone, just the actors looked like they looked like they didn't know what they were doing. I can't even say it. They don't know what they didn't look like they knew what they were doing. The shots were contrived, and the setups for everything were totally contrived. It was just so obvious everything he was trying to do. It was terrible. It was so much of the telling you as opposed to just showing you.
Do you think it was also the direction in conjunction with the writing? Because the writing seemed very, very cliched for a lot of these stories.
This episode,
you knew where it was going. It was very predictable.
This episode as a whole, in comparison to what it looks like the whole arc of this miniseries is, seems very wheel spinny.
Yeah.
Seems very, let's stay in one place for a whole episode, which, depending on the show, sometimes those are the best episodes. The episodes where they just stay and deal with each other. But this episode literally just spins its wheels and gives you a lot of explanations and exposition and information that's probably necessary moving forward. But right now we're all sitting here but last week they drop the mic.
Yeah.
There's Google Glass for
Google
Evo
glasses. Google glasses.
Glasses.
Yeah, and they're like, and now we're gonna follow it up with nothing.
No,
Like,
no. Molly's death was pretty.
Molly's death was
pretty-
pretty.
that
I'm
was
not
the best
saying
scene.
everything.
That was
That
pretty.
was the best scene.
Well, when you're stuck in the mud, you still kind of. They got out of the mud by the
Slightly
end of
more.
this episode.
Yeah, that was the best scene in it.
That was the best scene. We are not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
it,
didn't
slow
want to
down.
jump into it,
But the
but
blood-
since you were talking
Ain't
about
a
it,
boo-boo.
sorry.
But Tommy, instead of under duress, said, "Oh, absolutely, test my blood," instead of the more reasonable approach of, "Okay, that's an option that I'm considering. What are the other options?"
Well, I need you to walk with me through life because I make irrational decisions every day.
Sometimes you just have to stop. If when faced with a choice, when faced with a possible decision, take 3 seconds. That helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's on my self-help podcast. That is the same voice up top and the same song up top.
My question is, with that nurse, she seemed very accepting that Tommy, now knowing his blood type and who he is and what he can do, she seemed very accepting of Evos.
Yeah.
So, and I was very surprised, but yeah, happy that she let him go.
Yeah, even when the Aurora Borealis was happening, she was like, nice. She was like, well played, weather. I like this. And like, not weird at all, right? I love it when the weather is strange.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt about this character the whole way through. And we heard her name over the PA. I just didn't catch it. The doctor's name.
I didn't
But
catch
she was never mentioned by name. But it was paging this doctor. So it was one of those things that was likely. There's no director listed to
There
this
is
episode.
no director listed to this episode because he knew it. I'm telling you. I'm not even joking. This
felt your
director
wrath.
knew his work was terrible, and he did not want to be a part of this. He
Didn't
gave
want
in like a
the
different
credit.
name, like, Balls McKenzie. Like, he did not. Why'd he have to go to the porn thing? I'm
I
so
don't know.
sorry.
That's on
I
you.
don't know.
That's
all
on
me
you.
now.
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry. I saw someone in the
Getting
chat
T-boned.
make a porn thing, and I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's where my mind
The
is going.
ability of porn.
Yeah, that's someone
Or
said in the
over
chat.
porn.
Thank you for
Surrounded
that.
guys,
Thank you for that
ladies,
chat.
help me.
Oh man. But he gets the blood, and this doctor. This doctor looks and she's just she has these very kind eyes, and she's like, "Oh, the unpredictability of nature," which is a very well thought, mindful thing to say of a person. Because anyone who really understands nature doesn't believe in the word perfect. Because there is no perfect.
Makes me think the nurse herself is also an Evo.
Yeah, I totally got that
She
sense.
just can't be an accepting person.
Is there anything you
Well,
wanna
the thing is,
tell
look,
me?
I would
He-
love
She
to
had
think
kind
that.
eyes.
He poofs back with
But-
2 bags of blood, runs in and goes, I got the blood.
Oh, she knew.
Yeah, of
She
course.
knows.
She knew
Didn't
before that.
question it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that, talk about accepting, like, that's so obvious in front of also the other person who was in the room working with her. Like, it's so
Well,
obvious.
and the
this kid's
mom
running with
appeared
blood.
in the hallway
Yeah,
after a car
exactly.
crash. Like this
No,
this
but
doctor knew the whole time.
Yeah, they
But
scored with this one.
think about it. Being a nurse, perfect cover. You're in the public eye. You get to see everyone that comes in and out, and you get to save those who really actually do need saving.
Keep it on the down low.
Save the Evos.
Saving Evo's on the down low.
Yeah. Nobody
Hiding
has
in
to
plain sight.
know.
Except Tommy. Well, also, when we get to that last scene where she tells Tommy to run.
Yeah.
And he stays and asks more questions. This kid needs his mom back
Yeah, clearly.
to teach him.
Yeah, definitely the writing this was not the most well-written episode that we've come across so far. Definitely not the strongest writing. Definitely the worst directing.
So far.
Yeah, tough
So
critic
far.
over
So
here.
I'm being honest, man.
I appreciate
I'm
the
being
honesty.
real. I'm just being
I
real.
appreciate the honesty.
And we get Cole Cutler. Not Cutter, as I initially read.
Cole Cutler.
Cole Cutler. I wrote down
That sounds
Cutter.
like a porn name too.
That does sound like.
Sounds like.
How many times can we mention porn tonight?
We'll
We
find
should
out.
somebody tally.
Do we have
it.
a tally?
Somebody keep a tally.
If you're watching at home, keep a tally of how many porn references.
My
I worked
goodness.
3, I think.
All right.
So, do we think he's a bag and tagger for Renautis, or do we think there's something larger? Cole Cutler.
Just got to
They,
say
Cutter Cole.
they specifically showed his badge and cut to his badge. I wish I would have written down specifically what was on that badge. So there's something to that.
It looked federal, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more for
Yeah.
the regular government.
Yeah, we've already established there's a part of the government that literally regulates Evos.
Yes.
That and it seems like the bag and tags for Renautis aren't actually bag and tags as much as they're like show up and shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
and
capture you.
Well, it depends. Well, if you're Luke and Joe, they're just going to show up and there's an execute list, and then there's a bag and tag
list.
list.
Let's talk about them later.
Yeah, and
next.
And also, we've discovered by this point in the story that there's a much greater scheme going on, way bigger than Renatus. So I'm thinking this is our a glimpse into sort of what's coming, the government and that sort of level of everything. What was that? Well, the sky, the story with Noah Bennett, like the truth of what's really going on. Because even Molly is strapped in, and she's like, Noah, this is even bigger than what's happening now. She's like, warn him. She's like, no, like you think this is what this is about? This is bigger than that.
There's
greater evil.
Yeah.
There's more.
Thanks, Obama.
When we get to the Renatus, which will be at the end, I have a lot of thoughts on what Molly meant by that.
Okay.
But speaking of people who bag and tag for Renatus, we got Luke.
I don't think they bag and tag for Renatus.
I thought
they were a vigilante.
They are on their own.
Well, they have you're right. They have a Renatus list.
They stole it from.
They just stole it
from the old.
I guess
paper,
you're right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I guess you're right that they're not.
They're vigilantes. And I really dislike this Joe woman. Let me tell you why.
Because
our people have suffered from discrimination and segregatory and not being equal for centuries. And now there's a new group of people and you want to do it all over again. Like, did you not learn anything from history?
Reverse racism.
I got so annoyed just watching her. Like, they're an evil. They gotta die. Like, do you know what you sound like right now? Do you know what you sound like? I was so bothered by that.
That's messed up.
Did anyone catch? I don't think we know where they are in the United States. We knew last week they were en route to Los Angeles, so they're somewhere past the Midwest, towards the west.
They look like the road that...
they were in St. Louis at the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
Because they killed the guy.
All right, good.
Which was also very... I like that scene. I thought that was really...
I enjoyed that scene. There was actually a little clunkiness to the audio on that scene that I felt took... Well... it felt like clunkiness originally, and then that came back again in the hotel room where the audio cut out when things got serious. Or not the audio as much as the background music.
Yes.
The background music, it happened twice, and it was all about Luke.
Yeah.
That when something happened within Luke to show... Okay, I said clunky. It's actually it made sense as I said it. Something stuck out to me.
I agree. I wrote in my notes, music swells.
Yeah,
and then just drops.
And then just drops instantly instead of like normally musical like teeter out within 3 seconds.
You guys are
tough.
tough.
The music.
I didn't even notice that.
Just another thing with this darn episode. Someone said it had horrible pacing. I missed it.
Yeah.
Who it was who said that? It was A. Wilson. He said it, and guess what? You were correct. A. Wilson.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
Horrible pacing.
Horrible pacing. Horrible directing. Bad script.
Ready.
Weird music. Bad writing. It was just rough. Okay, I will say, what's up? I thought he exploded in the last episode.
Yeah, they never really...
No.
He was... Maybe he destroyed that like tiny building he was next to.
No, she was in the building. She
Maybe
didn't
he
notice
got
that.
out of the sun.
But like now that he
was
can emit fire, maybe that's what had happened. It was like a big build up and then
he just shot a huge amount of flames and burned a tree.
That's a huge plot hole.
Some trees,
because it gave you the perception that he was exploding, that Luke was exploding, and all of a sudden they come in the next episode not mention it whatsoever. Cool. Yes, everything's fine.
Everything's
he
cool.
just went. He went. Ah!
He didn't even burn any towels.
That's how I feel driving in LA.
Exactly. There wasn't even a problem checking out of this hotel or motel where they were staying.
But okay, so watching in tonight's episode, every time he was lighting up, I guess we can say, is he was in the sun. So it seems like maybe the sun or the light itself affects him more so. It helps as a trigger. Because we've learned in past seasons that there's always a trigger to turning on and off someone's powers. So maybe that's his.
He's been in the sun his whole life.
Heat, light generation.
Or generation, but I think it would be fueled by, and it might be deeper than just the sun, like, because as we know with Evos, it's never just simply like, oh, you can transport. Like, we learn, like, oh, no, he can transport thoughts into a penny.
Yeah.
Which is my theory. I'm sticking to it. But, like, I'm also thinking that his power would be more, he can take energy and then expel it.
Conserve?
So right now there's too much
Bishop.
sun.
Like Bishop.
Yes.
Yes, Bishop from X-Men.
Yeah,
he
that
absorbs
there's-
energy and then expels
That
it.
right now, the sun's energy coupled with his inability to control his power, he can't be anywhere near the sun, or he just takes it in and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
sticking
cool.
with that. I'm
I
sticking
like
with that.
I like it's different from the nuclear exploding man. It's more of a Bishop thing.
Although that was kind of what the nuclear exploding man was.
Sprague?
Did he absorb?
Well, he pretty much it's the same power. He just found like he literally went nuclear.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah, and his power was generated out of rage and anger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
this
generated.
is
He could
different.
generate nuclear fusion, whereas this guy is gaining his power from the sun.
Yeah, nice.
There we go. We worked that out.
Yeah.
Yes.
A. Wilson, I just love what he was saying. He said, what's it called? Joanne's character is so one-sided, it's nauseating. I so agree with you.
Yes.
I so
True.
agree. I'm so glad they're broken up, and I wanted her to get hit by a car on her way out. Like, I did too. I want that character.
I
off
wanted
the
him to
show.
kill her, actually.
Yeah.
I said that.
But did you see the crazy look? She got crazy eyes when she was walking
She did.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
but it
she
was
is
so
now
contrived.
She's on a path to
She's on a path
destruction.
to. The list is gone.
It was
like her.
another moment for
left
me,
the list.
from a director's
Well, the list
standpoint,
burned.
that was so contrived. You know, she's going through this incredibly emotional moment where she's shown that she is a killer. She's going to kill Evos, period. It's now her husband, and she has her, for the first time, we've seen her character have some sort of change. She chooses not to kill. And then she walks away like, I was like, oh my gosh, who's directing this?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know because he didn't put his name down.
Very true, but I do like the fact, as crazy and sociopathic she is, I'm glad that Luke was the voice of reason and the conscious in this. Like, he was the actual rational.
I'm cool with Luke.
Yeah, we like Luke.
Like,
I
despite
don't like
everything
Joe.
that's happening to him right now, he doesn't know what the hell is happening with his ability, but he's the one that's still, in a way, keeping calm.
Yeah.
He's the cool-headed
Yeah.
one.
And people are bringing up that his clothes don't burn yet.
That's
I
a
thought
very
that
good
was a
point.
I call that,
and
Very
that
good
was
point.
the same guy, A. Wilson.
A. Wilson.
I think it was the same
Keep
guy.
talking, A. Wilson.
Yeah.
Bring it. Well, everyone in the chat, please
Maybe-
keep talking.
Yeah.
Let's not make the chat one person. That wouldn't help anybody. I'd like to cite the purple pants theory on that one.
Purple Pants theory.
The Hulk.
For Hulk.
The Hulk.
Yeah.
The Hulk's
Oh,
pants
Hulk
grow
pants.
with his waist. Don't
For
put
some reason.
Don't put too much thought into it.
Yeah.
He turns into a big
Well,
green
do you
monster.
want to see a big green?
So that's number four.
So we believe they were on the East Coast or somewhere around St. Louis. Last week they were heading to East Los Angeles. Let's go to East Los Angeles with Carlos Jose. Carlos is El Vengador.
I've got some things to say about
El
this one. You'll see.
Batmanador.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Just
2.0.
Can I?
El Vengador
I'll
2.0.
just jump right in with.
Please.
Okay. I believe Carlos has a power.
yes.
There in the X-Men
Stupidity.
universe or in the Marvel world, there's a character named Forge. Forge's
Yeah.
ability is to create anything out of machines. If you notice in the first episode, Carlos goes to the car that they're fixing and he just looks at it. He makes this comment. He says, "Oh, you just need to fix this air intake thing, and then it'll be fine." And his Oscar's like, what are they? What you talking about, Holmes? No, and so, and then all of a sudden he could build this crazy suit. The way he looks at the cars, the way he's doing things with the configuring things, he fixed the car fast, builds a new suit. He's Forge. He's Batman/Forge.
Okay.
I'm telling you. I believe that's his power.
So his ability is to create.
It's to
Yeah, he can
understand
He knows how
mechanical.
things
Yes.
are put together.
Yeah, he's able to fix things, create things, put things together. It's a really, in fact, in the Marvel universe, Forge is massively powerful because he comes to the point where he's able to create time things, he changes his body. I mean, he could do incredible stuff. I didn't think Carlos was going to have a power at first, but now I think that he does, and this is it.
Well, at first it seemed like he absolutely did because of how he felt about he was this reluctant hero about what he did in the war. That I always felt like we were going to get that story that he did something in the war that he's not proud of. That it felt like cheating.
Oh.
Like that always felt like his initial character. That he felt like a reluctant hero. That I'm no hero. I'm just a guy who looked at a car and turned it into a suit and destroyed a whole platoon of ISIS fighters. I don't know. I wasn't there.
He's Iron Man also. Yeah.
He's
Iron Man. Yeah.
His
Man.
power is being Iron Man.
Yeah, that's his power. With Forge,
That's a good power.
Gift. It's cool.
They took a
Cool
lot of.
suit. I saw it more mix of Iron Man and Edge of Tomorrow. You know,
yeah.
with those suits that they used.
Yeah, the-
exoskeleton suits.
Because there is a bit more mechanical level to this
Yeah,
El Vengador
it's
suit.
very
He
clunky.
soups out a car.
Yeah.
Dude,
Serious.
if nothing else comes from this Heroes Reborn series, can we just get an El Vengador show?
Dude, a spin-off.
Can this just be
mean-
a 13-week backdoor pilot?
Yes, I like
Batman
it.
has to have his Batmobile.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
And he needs to have his Robin, and his Robin is Jose.
Jose.
Jose. And he needs to have his man cave. The Batcave.
The Batcave.
Batcave.
The
Yeah.
Batcave and man cave.
Batcave.
Cave, yeah.
Both of them.
It doesn't look good though for Jose and the priest.
Oh, no.
They're both captured by the sergeant, the superpowered sergeant.
We haven't seen Jose get captured, though.
They said I
They
had
said-
I got the kid.
Okay.
But,
I mean, he could
Ooh.
disappear through the guy.
Yeah, I was like, he can
phase.
phase right out.
Unless, because we've established he can phase through people and things, right?
Yeah.
So then he
Just
can
like DL.
he can get out.
Yeah.
He can get out. That's fine. On the DL. I will throw words back.
Yeah.
All right. We were just in East Los Angeles. Let's go just a
priest.
tiny jump away to 66 degrees, 34 degrees north, which if you type that in is the Arctic Circle. It's
There you go.
exactly the Arctic Circle.
That's pretty good.
And we're going to get Melina and Farah. We actually get to see more of Farah this week. Because we would
Yeah.
only see like a shroud and then
we
otherwise
had no idea what was
footprints of
going
Farah.
on.
We didn't know.
Right.
We had no idea what this had to do with anything.
She's a chameleon. She camouflages.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can camouflage / be invisible.
Yeah.
I think
But also
She
what's the guidance?
camouflages, which essentially is kind of invisible. I mean, she just literally camouflages to her surroundings because you always see her
Yeah.
shape. She's not completely invisible.
that she camouflages in there.
Yeah.
No, I thought they do that for us. Like,
No,
the
I mean,
people there
we
can't see her
we
at
had
all.
the Invisible Man back in season 2, and we didn't even see any delineation of him. We just saw reactions of people like getting shoved to the side by him.
Yeah.
This we can actually see a physical form.
Yeah,
Well, maybe
because
they're-
she's she's also changed into different backgrounds. She's changed herself to the backgrounds. That's
Yeah.
something they've shown.
I'm actually not sure if she's invisible or chameleon. It's
Yeah.
it's a small distinction.
Maybe she can bend.
Well, actually, no.
light.
She must be a chameleon because she's able to punch people.
Ah,
Someone who's invisible would
No, I
kind
think-
of.
No, you can
You don't
still
have to
also
be an
punch.
Evo
I'm
to punch
overthinking it.
someone.
yeah. All right,
I'm overthinking
I'll
it.
go with chameleon.
I just wasn't sure if like they were doing that so we could see her, but the people there couldn't see her. You know what I mean?
No, I think she's actually. I don't know why she was doing that.
Maybe
the-
she
for
can
the
bend
past-
light to reflect around her.
That's a good. That's a good
That'd be
point.
cool.
We don't. Let us
And-
know what you think about Farah.
Right.
We're a little.
Yeah.
We all have our
All right,
theory.
So
on-
yeah, all
We don't
right.
know enough about her. That's our thing.
Chameleon.
We know she speaks
bending
Urdu
light.
and she's Pakistani.
Yes.
Yes.
So
And-
she's the
And
predator.
she doesn't.
She's the
sweat.
predator. Yes, she's
Yes,
the predator. Thank
predator,
you, Steve. She's
yes.
the predator. Which is
And-
a chameleon.
And we
And
only know
thingy.
she speaks Urdu because we had the closed captions on.
And we noticed she doesn't sweat. She only glows so God can see her better.
Yep.
I like
I thought
it.
that was really cool. I'm gonna make my bio that on Instagram.
And so we see Melina has the power to create life.
Yes.
Cool.
Love it.
She creates life. She also has the power when she creates life to create bad CGI. Really bad CGI.
Going for it.
Oh man, this episode. That CGI was that was like I felt like I was back to being a kid again. Like that was really cool for me when I was like 6.
I mean, I think the comment I made was a good thing they held shift on that tree because it looked like they just cropped the tree out of the frame.
Yeah, that's right.
And then just like that's something I do in Final Cut. If it's like a couple frames for a vine, I can get away with stuff like that. That said, ultimately
power.
it's cool power.
Very
Ultimately not super important for the grand scheme of this episode. That the tree look incredibly believable.
Well, it also, as bad as that tree did look, it let the audience know that Melina is still trying to control her power. She's coming into this. She doesn't have full control over it, so she's growing in a way along with regrowing everything else.
Yeah, she's training. This is
Yeah.
what this is. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Conditioning.
Farah is Yoda
So I
to
think
a certain extent.
Much fear in you there is.
that was really
Yes.
good.
Really good.
That was very good.
Thanks, guys.
And we get a little bit of training here and a lot of talk about how the fate of the world is in your hands.
It's one
Yes.
little girl.
Just one little girl, and men would be cowering,
She's very eager.
very eager.
And even Farrah's like, you're a little too eager. Pump the brakes. Because not everyone it would be this excited to save everybody.
Yeah.
and we get much like Yoda, we get a very brief training montage, and then hey, you're done.
Yeah,
Hey, guy showed up. I had to punch him. We're done.
We're done. You know, this is a thing in this episode. People show up randomly behind people a lot in this episode, and this is one of those times where it's like, really, no one saw that guy. He was in the middle of in an open area. He's not. This guy wasn't sneaking around. He was like, hey. Oh,
Camping.
your powers. All right. Call that in. I was like, you could see him. You were even like facing. He was like on this side. You can't like. It was another one of the things. Poor directing.
Unnamed director.
Unnamed director.
All right. Let's stay out of America for one.
All right.
We're gonna head on over to Tokyo, Japan.
They're actually coming to America.
They are. Well, there's an arrow to Midland, Colorado. I covered it.
Okay.
Miko and Ren are in Tokyo, Japan, getting on a plane to Midland, Colorado. Someone correct me if I'm getting that wrong. It's Midland, Colorado?
Midian.
I got that wrong again.
Yeah, it's 2 episodes now.
Midian, Colorado. Miko and Ren, they're... So Ren has like 2 million subscribers? How many subscribers?
2 million subscribers.
That's a big deal.
That's
He's a gamer.
That's a decent fan base.
Yeah.
That's better than 2 million that's better than decent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for a gamer
really
in Japan, I think that's probably more.
It's probably really good, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's good. And
Better than us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Nice job,
I'm
Ren.
sitting at a cool 500 followers
Yeah.
right now.
There you go.
Ren, and you know what? And we do have porn reference number 5 for Ren. And that is where because of the amount of followers, the taxi driver thinks that he's in that industry.
Oh! That's why it's on all our heads. Yes. That's why it's right there.
Yeah. I forgot all about that. We didn't even make that up. It was actually in the episode.
That was actually the episode.
That was actually there. And the cab driver just doesn't believe that that's the truth, which is a little Americanized.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you could sell out the Tokyo Dome with a League of Legends tournament.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
it's a little Americanized. I'll take it. But video games are huge.
I did have that thought during that scene. I was like, do they really interact like that in Japan? I couldn't test it because I've never been, but
they might interact like that in Japan, but
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, but no. To his statement of saying it was really Americanized, like I had that.
The
thought,
stigmatizing someone playing video games as a profession.
That's a very American thing.
That's American because that's a stigmatized thing here.
Yeah, in Asian countries, I mean, we're talking Korea, Japan, China. I mean, League of Legends. Not Warcraft.
Unreal.
Unreal Tournament. There's just so. I mean, I can go on. I'm just blanking right now.
Yeah.
But these are massive tournaments where the society is very much involved. In Korea, especially, everyone plays games. I've seen documentaries on this. Like the gaming community in Korea is massive. Like in Japan, in China. I mean, it's huge. Not like in the States where it's kind of like nerds. Yeah.
Like, you video game person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That pen seems very specifically pointed right now, Khaliel.
You do that video game thing.
So speaking
Get
of
a real
Asian
job.
culture,
Speaking of Asian cultures.
which is ironic because I'm Asian, but I don't game. There you go.
Americanized.
I'm a tall white dude with a beard who's into nerdy things. I don't game either.
Look at that.
Well,
Am I the only gamer in here?
You are like, I mean, you're pretty official too.
Yeah,
I own a video game system.
Yeah.
To bring it back to Miko and Ren.
Let's get back to Miko and Ren.
Ren uses his tremendous clout as an internet sensation, as the man who found Katana Girl, to make everybody cosplay in front of at the gate of Renaltis.
It's very smart.
In Midian, Colorado, before he ever gets there. Also, they funded his trip from Japan to Colorado, which, that's what, $2-3 grand a person?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
This one was tough. It's a stretch.
No, he had the money. He had the money, but like imagine Renaltis is like Apple.
Okay.
That it's like this very open place that like a bunch of people could kind of gather. Like it's this big public hippy dippy, not a huge government gate kind of a company.
Yeah.
That they could get away with gathering publicly at the door. Maybe not.
I think we just need to accept the fact that they both got to Midian really easily.
Yes.
Right.
And that may or may not be. I mean, they weren't looking for Ren anymore. That's the one thing. Miko broke out and she was on that live stream. I mean, there are some holes.
There's some holes. More holes in this episode. More holes. Cue Neil Diamond music. I love. I don't even know what she's talking about. But
I don't either.
Oh, you know what?
Can we?
I know what she wanted to cue. We're coming to America.
Thank you.
There we go,
There we
Lydia. I can't see what.
Lydia Saberos.
Thank you, Lydia Saberos. I have to use. I might not my glasses on. Lydia Saberos.
They're coming to America. Midian, Colorado.
All right.
And we just get a tiny bit of, like, some brief cute moments between Miko and Ren on the plane. But we were a little Miko and Renless.
They didn't do anything.
We were a little light on them this episode, but we all seem to be building towards, again, to a big showdown in Colorado.
And them working as a group.
All of them working as a big group.
Yeah.
And Heroes there somehow.
We'll figure that out soon enough.
And we're going to talk about Taylor in a second in our last topic. But Taylor almost opened Hiro Nakamura Takazo Kensei's sword.
Yeah.
And I think you and I both shared a look. Mm-hmm. Because she never actually got to take it out of the hilt, out of the case, and we both felt, I think the sword's the power.
Yeah, the fact that they would make it a point to show her almost open it, but then not open it, like right before she can do it, someone walks in. It gives you. They're trying to tell you something. They're trying to tell you that maybe something would have happened if she opened it, which is what happens every time Miko opens it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it's in, to put it in Harry Potter terms, it's enchanted.
Yes,
It is.
Yes,
they've enchanted.
Nice.
So what happens when Hiro actually gets a hold of it again, and he opens the sword?
I feel like Hiro Nakamura, it was his sword, so whatever it's enchanted with, or hexed with, or
Hex.
So much better word.
whatever's placed on it, I think he placed it there,
Maybe
so he knows.
He'll cancel it.
I do agree.
Question-
Someone up there was saying, and this is what I said last week. I'm sticking with it, that she's not real. She's actually a video game character.
That she doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
I'm still going with that.
He said she was a dead girl.
Yeah, and they call her a zombie.
implied-
Yeah. I'm still sticking with my she's a video game character.
I'm staying on the fence about that, but
It makes sense.
Feels reasonable, especially given what we learned at the fence. Literally, when she was like, "Oh, I can climb the fence, do a backflip, take out 6 guards,
Yeah.
and then we're in."
Yeah.
And then Ren, the guy who doesn't know how to do all those things in real life, just goes, "Well, no, I already laid that seed. I already planted that seed. We're just gonna go over to where you're dressed just like them."
Yeah. And then it became like a mini E3, which is totally
This is a
awesome.
mini
Yeah.
E3 in front of
A. Wilson is also a gamer. Kindred Spirits.
Kindred Spirits up there.
So
A.
is
Wilson.
another person, Kaiso.
You got all these
Okay,
games.
Kaios 13212
Yeah.
gamer right here.
There you go. So
Bunch
you
of
got some
gamers.
support.
Dude, I'm
All you
loving
gamers.
this.
You got some support.
Dude,
There you
all
go.
these gamers.
We should
Show
Twitch
some love.
later.
Yes,
we should all- we should just do-
this.
We should do a Heroes Reborn Twitch after Heroes Reborn.
Exactly.
We're already in Midian, Colorado. Let's get to the big,
The nitty gritty. The big kahuna.
huge story of
The whopper.
the series. Noah, Quentin, Taylor, everybody,
Renato.
Molly, Renatus. Quentin and Noah get into Renatus because they flip Taylor. Taylor, her mother Erica, she learned to not trust her. Noah's pretty good at explaining to people to not trust their parents.
Yeah, right.
totally.
He's really good at that.
I totally wrote that down. All parents will
will
lie to their
Yep.
kids to protect them from the truth.
I wrote it
and
down too.
It's also repeating everything he always told Claire in the past few seasons, and like there are many scenes where Claire's like, "Will you ever stop lying to me?" He's like, "I'm your father, of course not."
Yeah.
It's like parents lie to protect their children, and it was just that the reiteration of that again, which I liked.
Also, 2 things about Quentin in this episode I noticed. One, love his character and love him returning to the campus as it is and explaining like, man, that sushi is really good. I sold out for a long time because of that sushi. And 2, he is a very not tall man. And we did not notice this until this episode, because I saw the framing and I was like, is Noah Bennett really tall or is Quentin really small? And it was just like, oh, it's both. It's both.
Yeah.
It's just there's a real.
It's their relativity.
Week 1, I was talking about how I didn't like his character. I didn't like Quentin's character, and you told me, you said he would grow on you and it would get better. You were 100% correct. I'm really enjoying him. 100%
Really
correct.
enjoying him. He's that perfect level of
Comic relief.
but
Levity.
But there's still weight to him looking for Phoebe. There's still weight.
He's wanted his sister.
Like, he still has a want, and, like, he can still drop the act. They get in with Taylor's help. Taylor has that wonderful scene with Erica.
Then we get to the Matrix.
And then we get to the Matrix.
That part threw me off, because they confronted her, and then she was alone with her mom, and now she's back with them. So, like...
She just...
it was kind of like what happened to them in the downtime, you know? Like, they were like, okay, go talk to your mom.
They were having sushi.
They were hanging out. They're hanging out and having sushi.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one really noticed that Noah Bennett and Quentin are just having sushi, though.
Quentin was probably popping.
Plotting.
Quentin was probably popping pain pills because he was likely shot less than 48 hours before this.
Yeah, what happened
Plot
to his
holes.
That's not a plot hole. He could just... Vicodin's really strong. He wouldn't keep a beard, though. He would shave his beard if he was popping Vicodin.
That's amazing.
But they get in, and we see the clone whose name's escaping me right now.
Harris.
We see a Harris. Then we see two more Harrises, and then we see Noah, who's clearly worked with clones before. All right, when I say three, everybody duck. I'm gonna make a diversion, and I'm gonna just shoot all three of them.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing about being a clone is that you're not a real enough person to get shot and have bodily organs. You'll just poof. If you get shot anywhere near where the vital organs are, you just kind of go poof.
Yeah, it's it's like Naruto.
Salt.
If you guys are anime
shadow
fans,
clone.
you hit a shadow clone hard enough, they go poof.
Now you're speaking my language.
Hey, anime. That's what I should be talking
Now
about.
we know that about the Harrises.
Yeah, and the Harrises. It was very Matrix. It was so like, Mr. Anderson.
It was literally three.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sure it was Harris or was it Smith?
Yeah, it was Smith. Yes.
Totally Smith.
It wasn't the Harris Prime. That's all that matters.
I was supposed to.
It was not the Harris
but
Prime.
I was compelled.
If I could clone myself, I probably would have the same level of productivity. But it sounds cool.
All of you are clones.
Define productivity. I think the productivity of one Harris, or the productivity of hiring Harris as a group, is probably a huge outsourcing cost.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Because I think there seem to be hundreds, if not thousands, of him across the world,
He's just
completing
pumping 'em
very
out.
different tasks. The question is, where is Harris Prime? Is Harris Prime at Renatus? Is he in the
Last
North?
time we saw him, he was in Japan.
I think they're
The real
keeping.
one.
I think they're keeping Harris Prime in Japan, unless he came in for the big. He might have come in for the big celebration, and we may have seen him this week.
That's true.
But Noah, Quentin, Taylor, they all wind up into a big creepy room where a bunch of Evos are strapped to chairs and kind of plugged into the Matrix.
Yeah.
And
Not kinda, they are.
yeah, and we learn that that's what's powering Epic, the Google Glass for Evos. Mm-hmm. That imagine Google Glass if it succeeded to the level they wanted it to, like consumer-wise, but the technology fueling it was able to identify pretty much a large percentage of the population that there's something wrong with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine the second Captain America movie, that technology, but Google Glass.
Yes,
That's
Google
the best way to
Glasses, there it is.
explain.
It was strange after Molly dies, and then she's like, "Do we still have the capabilities?" Like, no, it's only within like 100 feet. I'm like, how come they could still do that? Like, this is not me. It's another plot hole for me.
Well, no,
they must have taken
they kind
it
of
from.
addressed that.
Well, they addressed that because,
Yeah.
and Noah gives you that decent piece of exposition before he wakes up, before he finds Molly, where he says, "I knew a guy."
Yes,
Who could
the
I knew-
Siler thing.
who
Yeah.
could-
Siler.
Yeah.
Who could hack into someone's brain essentially and take their power.
So they took enough to keep it located within 100
Yeah,
feet,
like
but they
they-
didn't have enough time to take more.
Yeah, they didn't take all of Molly Walker's power.
That's
They just took.
believable.
All right, I'll
They
go
just
with
took
it.
enough.
I'll go with it.
Take power, replicate power.
Yeah,
Because
but-
everyone
Yeah.
still had a power.
Take the ability. And I wrote in my notes, synthetic Siler.
Synthetic
Siler. Ooh.
Hashtag
I like
synthetic
that.
Siler. If
like
you
it.
hear that, it came from here.
If you hear, I like that. I like that.
They're pretty much just trying to create a synthetic Siler because it's more than just. It's more than, obviously they want Molly Walker's power of being able to find everyone, because if they find everyone, they can bag and tag them and put them in that room, and then they can have all the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they have all the power, who's gonna say anything?
Yeah.
That's, and the idea of the needs of many, the idea that to like take down the few, the Evos, to keep how they see the world running in order.
Well, see, I took it as like a Moses kind of thing. Like, we're gonna like start all over. We're gonna kill everybody. Like, essentially like flood the world. Not flood the world, but we're gonna kill everybody and we're gonna start population over because we got these Evos messing things up now.
But that, well,
as far as the Renatus plan.
Yeah, the Renatus plan is like anti-religion, if you will.
Yeah, they did it in they did it with the Cerebro in X-Men 2, where they were trying to
exactly.
X-Men 2.
Take out all the mutants.
Take out all the mutants.
Take out all the
reverse evolution, which doesn't seem like a good plan.
No.
But Renatus doesn't care because this plan, unlike Primatech's plan, which was to experiment and stay under the radar, this plan is to monetize because everything's above the radar and on the radar. Yeah. That they're just trying to make a bunch of money.
And they have no overheads because they have Harris's.
I think.
Like, wow, we have like 5 employees.
They're also in the public eye, so like everyone's watching them all day.
Which was I wanted to bring that up last panel, which was kind of weird to me that you would be in the public eye, saying how like I don't feel like the public would receive that great. Like, half of them would be okay with it, and another half would be like, no, they're human too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. But I think also Primatech, they were doing all this bagging and tagging. They were trying to contain all the heroes.
They were trying to
without people knowing. But now, this new generation.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Renatus wants to do it so that, we now know all of them and we have them on file, and we got information on. I forgot what it was now because that was
but what they're saying is, and what they're saying
capitalism.
Isn't, and they're technically what they're saying is, you need to know who's unregistered,
right?
But that's bad. Like,
that's X-Men 2.
That's literally X-Men 2. Like, that's
it's literally X-Men 2.
The Registration Act.
I just have to say something because I love all the anime fans now. We've got Lydia, who's an anime fan, but I love what someone said right here about the Harrises, how they go poof. He says, let's see, is it Vern C? Weren't the putties from Power Rangers like that?
The putties from Power Rangers didn't even turn into stuff. They just stopped the camera, took the actor away, and then turned the camera back on. They literally went poof with no stuff on the floor.
That's right. Okay. Well, we've got a lot of references, but I love the putties from Power Rangers reference the best. Vern C, thank you very much.
Vern C.
It got better when Zed came in.
Vern C gifted us last night. Vern C's good people.
Oh yeah, Vern C's good people. That's my guy, Vern Z. What's up, man?
We were on the Modern Family After Show last night, and he gifted us.
Oh, nice. All right, Vern C.
That's when you got it made, when someone gifts you.
I know.
It's worth it. Yeah. And we only asked for it a little. We only asked for it to happen a little. What we get to is Molly Walker once again sees Noah Bennett, and instead of having Noah Bennett help her, tell Noah Bennett what she knows, she just shoots herself.
Yeah.
And we caught a couple things from Molly Walker before she shot herself. One of which is that Claire Bennett died that night.
Yes.
She said, I was there the night Claire died.
Hashtag Claire ain't dead. If you
still
see somebody use it, I'm still going with that.
Really?
Hashtag Claire ain't dead.
I'm on the she's dead train.
I think I wasn't last week. This week I'm on the she's dead train.
Yeah.
Hashtag she ain't dead.
See,
Marissa?
I'm at the point where I can't trust who's dead and who's alive.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Hashtag Claire ain't dead.
Well, maybe
I feel people that we think are dead are going to come back.
And
hashtag agnostic.
That's actually me too. That's my actual faith.
Schrodinger's cat, remember?
Maybe Melina can bring everyone back to life.
Because that's her power. It's bringing things to life.
So, in this world, as long as there's still a corpse and you don't go poof like a putty, no one's dead. But Molly Walker, this was a fairly powerful scene.
Yeah.
Emotionally powerful.
Like, emotionally powerful scene. And the other very important thing I took from this scene was that she needed to not tell Noah to go back or she needed to not tell Noah the information she knew, because then he wouldn't go back to presumably October 13th.
Yeah.
To whatever she saw again.
Yeah.
We see Hiro Nakamura is also involved.
Time travel.
Forget the
There's a time
past to save the future.
That's the new slogan.
That's the new slogan. Forget the past to save the future. That's the new save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah,
it
Forget
is.
the past to save the future.
And actually, this is a prediction, and we're at that point.
Yeah, prediction.
Let's jump right into it.
I'm waiting for you. You had one. I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have one. So I think, and it was alluded to in the tape last week, I think Noah went back in time with Hiro Nakamura, and within 2 weeks of where we are currently, he's gonna have to go back in time to either tell himself or tell Molly or tell someone all the information we don't have and he doesn't have yet. Mm-hmm. My guess on what that information is that because of what we learned in the preview, is that whatever the Aurora Borealis that Melina and Farah are dealing with is somehow going to kill 96% of the population, and only Melina can help. Somehow his plan is to go back in time to tell someone to do things exactly as they happen, for him to get his mind erased, for him to go through the exact journey that only he would know it.
Oh.
And Hiro Nakamura comes back and he's involved.
Kind of like Paycheck.
And I think Hiro Nakamura is Miko's father, and Miko is not a video game character. Those are mine.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Marissa.
Okay, I have a lot of different ones. The because we know Melina, she can grow things or recreate in a way. I think she somehow, maybe with the time travel, they'll eventually get back to the June 13th date. She's gonna help restore Odessa in a way, or maybe not even go back, just go back to Odessa and restore the population, and like how it's all demolished, she's gonna help rebuild it in a way. And then also for that forest guy in that, you know, she clacked out, Farrah clacked out. We saw him for that brief second on the phone. I think he gave away the coordinates to Melina and Farrah. They're gonna find them two in the Arctic, go after them. And I think with Hiro, again, going off of, I don't know who's alive, who's dead, I think going off of yours, if they go back 2 weeks, that's enough time to see the Haitian again and like really redeem a lot of mistakes.
Interesting.
That's enough time for him to go back in time and tell the Haitian, I'm
tell
going
the
to I'm
Haitian-
going to kill you on this day, and I'm sorry.
Right. Or not even kill the Haitian.
I made you a cake.
Tell your loved ones
sorry.
goodbye.
The cake says, I'm sorry, I kill you on
He
September
can't be
13th,
dead.
2015.
He can't be dead.
Also, I do want to point out the one quick pull I found in Erica's office was a real estate magazine that said Utopia in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was a picture of a bunch of houses that it looks like Odessa that got destroyed. They created it. They created this perfect Utopia real estate giant thing, Levittown.
Basically on a graveyard.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Khaliel?
I don't necessarily have any predictions because I'm still a little trying to piece everything together. But I will say, and this isn't necessarily a prediction, but I would love to see Jose and Micah do something together. Like, I know Micah's grown up now a little bit, but I would like to see, like, I really want to see Micah come back and a lot of the old guys come back.
And that's similar to...
He's actually slated to come back.
Yeah. And that's similar to Micah's power. Micah would be able to... Micah could figure out how stuff works.
Yeah.
And as far as we're telling, that's kind of Carlos's power, too, just to different degrees.
Very different, Yeah. My prediction, I only have one, and I said it earlier, is that Carlos's forge. Is that Carlos?
Yeah, Carlos
is that his forge. And of course that Miko is not a real person. Oh, yeah. Those are my predictions. Nothing massive right now. I mean, we've talked a lot about it. I think I still need to piece a lot of things together to really want to confirm anything. And Phoebe needs a better name than the Shadow.
Oh,
Phoebe needs a better name than the Shadow. It's not a good name for a supervillain or hero or whatever she's gonna be. The Shadow, okay. And also, actually, I do have one big prediction.
Please.
Is that the director will not direct another episode, and that he will cease to direct any more episodes of the show, God willing.
and my prediction is Claire ain't dead.
Hashtag Claire ain't dead. Hashtag Claire's dead.
Hashtag Claire.
Phoebe / the Shadow look pretty badass.
Phoebe did look.
Don't mess with her.
She totally had like doing like Kamehameha thing kind of going on.
It looks like a black hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
interesting.
I think we wrapped everything up in a nice bow.
Yeah.
We'll be here at the same time next week here on AfterBuzz TV. Thank you guys so much for joining me to talk about Heroes. Marissa, where can the people find you in the meantime?
You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Khaliel Abooboo. Give us your thoughts and comments and all that great stuff.
Yes, you can find me at Kaibacat, and that means you, Lydia, A. Wilson, and Vern C. Follow me at Kaibacat. I want to hear more from you guys, all right?
Not just him.
And you guys can find me at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. This shirt courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com. Thank you guys, and good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.